Allah, 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 Allah. He is one. Allah, 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 Allah. He is one. He is with us all. Can't you hear his call?
Be upon all prophets, be with all prophets, right from Adam, Nuh alayhi salam, Noah, Ibrahim, Abraham, Musa, Moses, Isa, Jesus, Sulaiman, Solomon, Daud, David, Zachariah, Zachariah, Ismail, Ishmael, Ishaq, Isaac. Who is that?
Yunus,
Jonah, Job, Ayub, Dhul-Kifli, coming down to Yahya, John, as they call it, the Baptist, until Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I prefer that you sit down. Let's relax. You cannot hold 3 bottles of water and a phone, and you can't do all that alone. So I have this bad habit of a bad teacher, of not moving forward, of not proceeding, or of not introducing a lesson without revision. We are not giving a lecture for entertainment, as you know. We are trying to establish a structure. We want to agree on a mission here. Right? We want to unify we want to establish a solid, inclusive, unifying structure. That when we move forward, we know what we are up to. We know our main objectives. We know what dawah is. So we are trying to reorganize the house of dawah. I don't know who can volunteer to help us revise what we covered last week. This is when, good students from, I don't want to say bad, but from lazy. What did we had a very, very important session last week, and I can't afford moving forward if it cannot be reported back to me. Bismillah.
One of the really interesting things we talked about last time that I
want my presentation to be presented. I don't want some points. We started here, I want you to be my teacher. Suppose we send you to California to present our last week's lesson. This is what I want you to do. Relax, be confident. Bismillah, the floor is yours.
Okay, 1 second.
It is as if we don't know you.
1 second.
can I have access to my notes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Bismillah. Shakir, please.
I have to observe these men. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm assigned to observe them by Arafat Pipeline.
Okay.
It's my job.
Yeah.
Sorry. Astaghfirullah.
Right.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Okay. So I want to begin by asking how the heart is related to dawah. Last time I spoke about dawah and I didn't mention why I was speaking about the heart relating to dawah. So I want to ask you, is there any reference in Quran? And the answer that you gave was because when Islam came...
Assume that I'm not.
Okay, the reason is because when Islam came, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Verily this is a revelation from the Lord of the worlds. With it came down the spirit of faith and truth to your heart and mind, that you may admonish." So the place that Imam came first was the heart. With Sayyidina, with Ruhul Amin, Jibril alayhi salam. First, dawah comes to your heart and then to your mind. This is why I started with your heart. Because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is an illiterate. So Quran was revealed through the heart. That is the source of Quran. If you look at the purpose of the heart, Allah is mentioning it. The purpose of the heart is to understand. The purpose of the mind is to think. The purpose of your ears are to hear. So similarly, the purpose of the heart is to understand. The wisdom of Quran was sent straight to the heart of the Prophet ﷺ. Then he was made to memorize it. Whenever you do dawah, you should not be lost in connection to feasibility studies. You have to look at the strengths and weaknesses of the people in the area. It's very bad to come to a community and think that there is nothing that has happened there before.
I didn't know that people quote me word for word, include African English, full stop, and I didn't know that. Right, you're doing good. Now,
You come and assume that you have come and brought Islam to this area. This is how people, even big sheikhs, have failed. That is why it is important to see their strengths in everyone. Every son and daughter of Adam are weak. You need to know what their weaknesses are. Once you understand the strength of people, your task is easy. Your foundation is laid. You just need to build on it. If you don't know weakness, you may be talking for 20 years and you don't see any fruit. You need to know what that person knows. Approach people on their level of knowledge. You need to know who our threats are. Enemies were even from the masjid in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Know what issues are sensitive and need to be deferred until a later time. Not everything should be said on a minbar. There are certain things that he only said to the Sahabi. There are others that were of urgency, but the people had just come from Jahiliyyah. If you want to be successful anywhere, feasibility studies should be before. Go around, talk to people in quiet. And this is Quranic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, if you are in doubt concerning that which we have given you, then go and consult those who have been given messages before you, Jews and Christians. If you have been given the same religion, you have been given the same religion which has been given to Noah, Moses, and Isa. Therefore, it is very important to recognize and appreciate the work that has been done before. You're not going to start from scratch. This will help you know what went wrong and how you should approach it. Why is it important to understand the stages of dawah? Why is it important to understand it and follow it? That was the method of the Prophet ﷺ. The stages of dawah. Start with yourself. If you don't start with yourself, you can't help other people. Even though Prophet ﷺ was sent as a mercy to the world, he did dawah gradually and followed stages. You may try to start with the whole world, or you may go back to your continent, Africa or Asia, and find that it is so big. And you may go back to Kenya, and you may try to address Kenyans, and you find that even the president doesn't even impress people. And you may try to go to a village, and they don't even want to listen to you. Then you try to go and talk to the village. There is a chief or tribesman, and he is in charge. Then you try to go to your family, and you are the fifth brother, and the older brothers say, you are the youngest, we don't want to listen to you. Chapter 7, verse 158. O mankind, I am a messenger sent to all of you. Tools of dawah. Who remembers this? You have to be acquainted with the 4 tools you have been equipped with. Don't separate knowledge from Imam. Sahabi said, Rasulullah used to teach us Imam before he used to teach us Amr. The more knowledge you acquire is going to increase your Iman. That Iman is knowledge, and that knowledge is Iman. It is salat. It is through salat that your heart is purified. So we say we need to acquire that. And secondly, amal. If Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam had abused alcohol or buried his daughters, as Quraysh had done, and then he stood and called to people, would anyone had listened to him? And he said, I am a plain mourner to you, just before the hour, from a painful punishment. He gauged how they would take him. If I told you that there was an invading army from behind the mountains, would you believe me? They said, we have always found you to be al-Amin, as Sadiq. It is very important to conduct yourself in a good manner. There isn't a man who was eloquent, and 24,000 could hear him without a microphone. The Prophet ﷺ's last sermon, any Muslim who understood that khutbah will be a changed man. And everyone who was there was able to hear him without a microphone. Because racism was addressed, and respect, and honor, and dignity, subhanAllah, Allah made his words to be heard without the use of a microphone. They do not reject you, Muhammad ﷺ, as a person, but what they reject is Allah. These are words that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to his messenger to comfort him, because the hypocrites would not accept what he said, and they continued to fight him. They knew Muhammad ﷺ would bring revolution, and they knew the government, the whole system would change, and they understood that they would lose power. They could not blame his words, morals, and good conduct, so the problem was what he brought and not who he was. It brings changes. It has to impart and change your life. So whatever you acquire, you have to implement it. You need to make dua before your mission. The prophets made dua for their people. That is dawah. And then, number 4, we need patience. It's very easy to understand in Surah Al-Asr.
Number 3, we said down. Down, right? Inviting. Right. Acquire knowledge. Apply that knowledge. And then down, invite. Right? Dua, supplication. Down, inviting. Even though the word da'wah also means supplication, as we previously introduced, right? Okay. Done? Done?
Actually, I have a little bit more, but as you like.
Okay. So, mashallah. I mean, people say that, I think people don't know how should I say, a woman, a lady, a mother, is a nation. She's only one versus all these men. Jazakallah khair for a good job. Yes, I want us really to share the notes, if possible, write them and then rearrange them based on your understanding, right? Trying to recollect and remember the presentation and then share it. And as we share, I think that is very good. Let it go around, whatever you have, whatever we gather here. And that is the beginning of communication. When we share what we gather, what we learn here. And then, for example, we said, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam addressed, is it 25,000 or 120? Is it 24,000 or 124? So we said almost 124,000. But if our presenter, one of our colleagues, says 24,000, then we say no, 124,000. So this is one of the benefits. This is how we're going to correct one another, right? So inshallah, let us promote that. Let us not just leave it with, oh, I attended. Everything that we discuss here is expected to be applied and implemented. Right? We want to move forward. We say we gave it 4 weeks. We shall continue, inshallah, with da'wah, because da'wah is a big house. Right? But we don't just want to meet and talk every Saturday. We want to start doing something. And we're going to build it on this, inshallah. Okay, so we have a few minutes today, and I have a very unique and important part of our third session today. Now, we share because those who don't attend, I know that we are busy. But those who are not here, if you share the notes, it will help them to. It will really help them to be part of the missed session. We said that there are different ways of da'wah. Now, don't forget that when we discuss da'wah, we discuss informing, conveying, teaching. Refer to our first introduction. Remember the definition of da'wah. What is da'wah? Da'wah means inviting, informing, teaching, educating, supporting, empowering, creating awareness, guiding, directing, showing the way. Even dua also is part of da'wah. Big part of da'wah is also dua, just praying for the guidance of the creation, guidance of mankind, guidance. All these are forms of da'wah. So today, what we want to discuss quickly is different methodologies used by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, different methods, let me say different methods used by Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam to convey this message. Different methods used by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And this can be summarized as there are different methods used by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Include just reflecting, thinking. There are just thoughtful methods. There are observation, just observing. There are words and verbal methods. There are physical methods. Used by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So you see, House of Dawah is big. Sometimes you deal with people, and what it requires is you are dealing with people's emotions. You are dealing with people's lives, hearts, body. You are dealing with people's different circumstances and conditions. Human being has been selfish in the sense that you always think that people do think just like you think, and that is why many people have been disappointed. I'm going to talk to them and they're going to be Muslims and finish, they are guided. No. You only have one heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never placed two hearts under your chest here. Right? No. Only one. And each one has his own way of thinking, of perceiving things, of taking things, of understanding. So you will be disappointed. But I've been saying this and I've been trying to, can't they understand? Even prophets were frustrated. Prophets were frustrated. They were patient. They were the most tolerant. They persevered. They had sabr, but they were frustrated. If you read Quran, you will understand that even our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam was frustrated. He was depressed. Because as a prophet, having received a clear message of guidance and light, seeing that people don't want to receive this, people are not ready for it, they had to be frustrated. So, different methods of da'wah. With some people, it may be very easy for them just to observe you, just to see you. Just to see you. They want to see how you behave. To some, how you talk. How you talk. To some, how generous you are, how kind you are. Some want to see it. Some want to see it. They want to see how practical you are. Some just like your silence, your quietness, the way you. They just like that. I admire this. Some just like how generous you are. Some just like how helpful you are, how supportive you are. And therefore, different techniques of da'wah applied and implemented by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It was not only confined in words. It was not only verbally. We say that since Quran was sent down, and we say Allah says, the heart of da'wah is saying, is speaking, is conveying, no doubt about it. But it doesn't mean that there are no other ways and means of conveying the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is very crucial. It doesn't mean that all that we should do is talking or paying lip service. Islam is that, Islam is that. Islam is that, Islam is that. No. Yes, that is the gate. Right? But there are many other forms, ways and means of da'wah applied and implemented by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We are done with feasibility studies, right? And we are done with stages of da'wah. If you remember, we explained that in our previous sessions. We also discussed the importance of identifying a targeted group, if you remember. We say that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam targeted groups, either individuals or kith and kin, close relatives, or his neighbors or countrymen, and then he went, even he targeted people based on their faith and religion and beliefs. For example, Quran addresses Jewish as Jewish, Quran addresses Christians as Christians, Ya Ahl al-Kitab, or the people of the book. لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين, pagan Arabs who worshipped idols and statues are mentioned. المنافقون إذا جاءك المنافقون قالوا نشهد إنك لرسول الله. Hypocrites at the time of Prophet Muhammad amongst Muslims. So you will see that Quran and Al-Majus, Magians, who worshipped fire and stars are also mentioned. As-Sabi'in are also mentioned. And therefore you will find that Quran is so particular in addressing different categories of people. So you must have a targeted group when you give da'wah. You may misplace your priorities. You may waste time. Because the way you talk to a Christian is not the way you're going to talk to an atheist. They have different reasoning, different understanding. The way you are talking to a Jew, al-Yahud, is not the way you are talking to a Christian who attends church. Because as much as Christians do believe in other prophets, Jewish believe in Jesus as such. They don't. You want to ruin their day, mention Jesus. You want to ruin their day, just mention Jesus. When you talk to a pagan who worship idols, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to, it doesn't apply to talking to a Muslim who is the munafiq, hypocrite. And therefore targeting groups is very, very, very important when you convey the message of Allah with the intention of educating, teaching, or inviting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is very important. And this is where many people miss the point. You think that you just want to talk. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah says that وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. He was sent as a mercy to the whole world. according to Surah Al-Anbiya, chapter 21, verse 107. But it remains that he targeted groups. He targeted groups. So that is very important to know that. Target. And know how to, even when it comes to addressing kids, because da'wah, we say, is general. It applies to Muslims and non-Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invited Muslims to Islam. How is that? I mentioned it in my last khutbah. Allah is inviting Muslims to non-Muslims. So inshallah, that is part of our homework. Write it down. Go and search a verse in Quran where Allah invites believers to Islam, back to Islam. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, udkhulu fi silmi kafa, enter into Islam, enter into submission totally and completely. Allah is inviting believers to enter into Islam. So it's not all about inviting Yahud to Islam. Even Muslims are invited to Islam. Why? Because we are weak, we make mistakes, we slide, So we need to renew our iman, our faith. We need to renew it. We need to renew La ilaha illallah. This covenant which we took with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't be very safe. Don't feel secure that alhamdulillah I'm guided. You receive the first guidance, but you need the second guidance of maintaining your iman. Because you are traveling to Allah, you make mistakes, you are diverted, you are deviated, you are deceived, you fall down, you didn't perform your obligations on time, you slided and you committed haram, and therefore da'wah in general, even amongst Muslims, you should target the group. How do you address kids? How do you address elders? How do you address someone who doesn't come to the masjid? Do you start telling him, okay, your beard is not right, you need to keep your... He doesn't perform salah. We will talk about priorities in that. Brother, you need to cut your trousers. Too long and professional. He doesn't perform salah. You find him in downtown booming. You tell him about trousers. Tell him about his beard. Brother, your beard. You find him in downtown on Saturday. He is high. You tell him about his trousers. We will discuss priorities. Very important. So, targeting groups. Very, very important. And especially with feasibility study, you can go very far. It helps you to be acquainted, to understand where to say what and who to tell what. Because every place has a statement, and every statement has a specific place. لكل مكان مقال ولكل مقال مكان or مقام. You don't just put your words everywhere. Remember, we said last time that not everything should be put on the mimbar. Mimbar is only for 15 minutes. If you can stand on the mimbar of Jumu'ah, the pulpit, and then give a khutbah for 5 minutes, it's enough. These 30 minutes we are stretching because you don't see people the whole week, and it is, a gathering day, and you feel like, translating from a language to another. But 5 minutes suffices enough. So do you expect all our affairs, all our issues to be addressed on the mimbar? No. So even on the mimbar has specific, has a specific topics, and therefore targeting group is very, very important. Based on priorities, very important. So I want to give few examples, and then we want to move a little bit faster. I have almost 23 points with me today, which I really want you to record down. But before that, it's worth mentioning that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used different techniques, or he found himself in a situation where he had to apply different ways of inviting people to Allah or conveying the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this led many people to Islam, or at least it created awareness. Question that I have for you. When we convey the message of Allah, what is our intention? Are we intending to guide people to Islam? This is tricky. When we talk to non-Muslims all over the world, What is our intention? That we guide them to Islam, right? Remember, we are not just targeting non-Muslims. I'm just giving an example. When we talk to non-Muslims, we convey the message, Islam is the truth. What is our intention? That we guide them to Islam? What do you think? Reason with me.
Isn't the intention that through our dawah, Allah's will
Very good.
proceeds?
So as soon as you invite people, you should know that you are not the guide. The ultimate guide is Allah, not you. Even though you participate in the second part of guidance, which is showing the way. We show the way, so you are guiding people, right? Linguistically, showing somebody the way is guiding him. Can you please guide me? I'm lost. Right? But the guidance of acceptance is not in your hand. At all is not in your... Right? The guidance of acceptance is not in your hand. We don't guide. Allah told Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that innaka la tahdi man ahbabta, that you do not guide whoever you want. Walakin Allah yahdi man yasha. This is known as guidance of tawfiq. You can talk to somebody until he says, man, I've been longing for this, I've been waiting for this. This religion is a true religion. Okay, brother, can't you take shahada? Let me think about it. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his uncle, right? His uncle defended him, protected him. Only that he died as a Muslim. Prophet Muhammad asked him for one thing in his deathbed, Abu Talib. Just say La ilaha illallah. If you say this, you are done. The foundation is laid. And he said, I'm going to die following the millah, the tradition of my forefathers. Allah told Prophet Muhammad, oh, you Muhammad cannot guide whoever you will, whoever you wish, whoever you want. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides whoever He wishes, whoever He is. So the guidance, where we participate is guidance of just showing the way, showing the guidance of Allah. As for accepting, never ever think that I'm guiding. You do not have that power. That is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whosoever wills is guided. I mean, we believe. Whosoever, based on our free will. Now, few ways and techniques that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam applied. One, apart from conveying the message, that is the first one, he conveyed the message. He spoke to people, right? But where did he speak to people? Only the masjid? No, there was no masjid at all. There was no masjid in Makkah. The Prophet never built a masjid for 13 years. People met somewhere in a house of Arqam ibn Abi Arqam. They met somewhere and they could do some teachings and salah morning and evening. Right? Because in the beginning they were performing salah twice, morning and evening. In the beginning, before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed the ummah with 50 prayers, which was then shortlisted or reduced to 5 prayers. And if you perform 5 prayers, it is as if you have performed 50 prayers in terms of reward. They were meeting in a house, learning. Right, learning. Quran is being revealed. And you can imagine how they were being persecuted by Quraysh. Right? Whoever reverted to Islam, they were. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam never only concentrated in the masjid, even though masjid is the biggest and the most sacred meeting place for the ummah. You want to fix your Islam, you want to fix your life, right? You want to test the sweetness of Iman, come to the masjid. Start operating from the masjid. But for 13 years, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam conveyed the message, taught people, and there was no masjid. So from there, you need to understand that there are different avenues of da'wah, not only in the masjid. Muslims, we have confined our efforts in the masjid. And we never thought of other avenues and other places. Prophet Muhammad, for 13 years, never told Sahaba, build a masjid in Mecca. No. The first mosque to be built was in Medina, but Dawah was on. That is the message. So ask yourself, because some people say, even Imams, you send them to Amarillo, how do you call it?
Amarillo.
Amarillo. Or you send them to Gala. Or you send them to, the first question from the eminent Imam is, are there Muslims there? That is a failure in Dawah. Because to him, Dawah is confined, or Dawah should only exist amongst Muslims. And then the second question is, guess what? Is there a masjid? And then he may also raise a funny question that, how big is the community? How huge is the masjid? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is sent when even Al-Kaaba, the holiest and the most sacred house of Allah, is filled with idols. And he never asked, oh Allah, how many people are there? You have to do the job. So it doesn't go with how big is the community and how large is the, because Dawah is for Muslims and for non-Muslims. You have to make effort leading to the establishment of the masjid, like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Was it an issue? Was it an issue when he arrived in Medina? There was need. It was a necessity. So the first technique is having a bigger picture of what Dawah is, and realizing that in 13 years, Prophet Muhammad never told Sahaba, build masajid in Makkah. Instead, he targeted the heart. Prophet Muhammad was building men out of men, real men out of men, real women out of women. He concentrated on the heart, not on buildings. Like, I think we have missed the point. Community want to have a community of 200 people, want to have a mega, it is called a multi-billion, mega building for the community. Because we want to build a masjid, like, when I went to California, saw this masjid and man. Yes, if we can afford that, why not? If not for this generation, for future generation. But the starting point is not that multi and mega project. How are you going to build the hearts? Prophet Muhammad concentrated on the hearts of former slaves to former days, to poor and rich, and he concentrated on engaging people individually, right? His family, people who lived in Mecca, and subhanallah, these people left everything after 13 years. Before that, they went to Ethiopia. Prophet Muhammad himself then went to Ta'if. He was stoned. 13 years later, they migrated willingly, because hearts were prepared. So the first technique is not just concentrating on how are we going to collect funds and what. No. Build the hearts. When hearts are prepared, everything will be possible in the community. Right, brothers? Concentrated. Second technique was, of course, I said that the second technique was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam concentrated on changing people's lives, targeting wrong things that they were doing. It's not all about good things. No, you need to explain to people that this is wrong. Da'wah also means an-nahy anil munkar. وَلْتَكُنْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. That is why the first da'wah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was, Ya ayyuhan nas, oh people, oh Meccans, anqidhu anfusakum minan nar, save yourselves from Jahannam, from your wrongdoings. Now, don't confuse this with insulting non-Muslims and insulting their gods. That is not right according to Islam. Quran doesn't allow you to insult even their idols and statues. Because if you do that, lest they insult Allah with ignorance without knowledge. And you will be responsible. We are not allowed. We may tell them that this is wrong. Worshipping idols is not right. But don't insult their gods. Quran says no, don't do that. So try to cleanse them, try to purify them from the filth that they are doing, right from Muslims to non-Muslims, because Muslims are not that clean. Should not feel secure that much. We have Iman, but maintenance is difficult, because Iman increases and Iman decreases. The faith that you have and belief increases when you obey Allah, and it decreases when you disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, da'wah, it depends on your targeted, the targeted group. Another part of da'wah is to concentrate on encouraging what is right. You may say, how is it related? Yes. You need to understand people's conditions and circumstances. Part of da'wah is that when somebody does good, he or she has to be told that you are good here. Even if he is not a Muslim. Even if he is not a Muslim. As long as he is good or she is good, you need to say that this is good, this is a good thing. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? So here is a situation based on this. A Jew came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, O Muhammad, you say that you've been sent with the Tawheed versus Shirk, right? Tawheed versus Shirk. But your companions do Shirk. They do make Shirk. They do ascribe partners to Allah in your presence. So Muhammad ﷺ would have told him, hey, you sons of monkeys and days and pigs and don't talk to me, you are lost. You know, sometimes you talk too much. Prophet Muhammad told him, what is that? He says that why do they say that if Allah and Muhammad wills, which means they make you and God to be equal and the same. Why do they do that? Prophet Muhammad never told him, you Jew, I know that you are this and you are enemy and you are this. Not all Jewish are enemies. No. Sometimes we mix issues a lot. Not all Muslims are friends. No. No. And therefore Prophet Muhammad called Sahaba and told them that a Jew came to me, and he heard you saying that if Allah and Muhammad wills, you should not say that. Do not say Masha Allah wa sha'a Muhammad. The best you can say is Masha Allah thumma sha'a Muhammad. Say if God wills and then Muhammad, if Muhammad wills. Just wa and thumma. So the point is that he was right and Prophet Muhammad approved his point, and Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used that to correct Sahaba. When someone is wrong, he or she is wrong. When someone is right, even if he is not a Muslim, you need to agree when inviting people that here you are right. The point is, Islam never came to abolish all good things that happened before Islam was revived. Islam never came to abolish all traditions and cultures. And this is why you need to know, you're in America. Sometimes we say, oh, this is haram, and jeans is haram, and having a t-shirt on you is haram, because it's not Islamic. Watch your mouth. Let's watch your tongue. Did we agree that you need to know people's customs? What is part of Islam and what is not part of Islam? What is accepted by Islam and what is not, what is rejected by Islam? You need to know that before you open your mouth. So another technique of da'wah, because you may make a big mistake. You may destroy before you think of building. You are inviting people, but instead you are scaring them away. And you think that, no, I'm a da'i, I've been doing this for so long. When you have destroyed the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by misrepresenting Islam. You may be sinning instead of inviting people to Allah. You need to know the limitation and boundaries. You need to know what haram means, what stands for haram and what stands for halal. You need to know that. Another technique of da'wah, another way and method of da'wah that should be applied, brothers and sisters, is before you issue a verdict. This is a mistake of many Muslims. Every Muslim want to be a sheikh today. Every Muslim wish if he can be a doctor. But we know for sure that not all of us are doctors, right? Medical doctors. We want to be engineers, but we know that all of us cannot be engineers. Others have to be businessmen and others. But every Muslim has become a sheikh today and mufti. Everyone gives a verdict regardless. This is wrong. This is very wrong. Quote the ayah, there is no problem. There's no problem. Share the ayah, share hadith, share, there is no problem. But don't go deep into the rulings of Islam. This is not for you. Dawah does not allow you to put your nose everywhere, to make your long tongue very long. Don't do that. It has made many people to fail, and it has made many people, and you can see how people are arguing. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasul. Sister don't like that. Sister wrote, even when I said Subhanallah, she also recorded. Sheikh said Subhanallah. Talk to your wife. Talk to your wife too. Right.
That's wow.
Okay.
She's better than me.
Mashallah. Mashallah. Right, brothers? Very sensitive. You need to know that there are 5 rulings of Islam. Part of technique of da'wah is to know where you place the rulings as placed by our law, our sharia, lest you transgress the boundaries. We have 5 rulings of Islam. Write them down. Please, write them down. The first one is called wajib or fard. Wajib, a must, compulsory, or obligatory. It's a must. Salah, fasting, zakah, if you can afford. It is compulsory, it's a must.
The word you used is wajid.
Wajib. 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 Under wajib, there is sunnah. Even though sunnah has different definitions, right? But here, in terms of ruling sunnah, we have sunnah. Sunnah means recommended or optional. This one is a must, but this one is mandub, masnoon. Okay, so this is sunnah, right? And then we have haram on the other extreme. That is number 3. This is very important. Anyone who want to be in da'wah, at least have this in mind. You said wajib or fard, and then sunnah under it. Wajib here, sunnah here. On the other hand, we have haram, and then we have makruh, disliked. Haram is prohibited or forbidden, and then we have makruh, disliked. And then coming point number 5, mubah, permissible. Now I want to talk to you serious now. Those are 5. The first one, brothers and sisters, the first rulings of Islam. Any ruling, any verdict that you want to give for your information, any verdict revolves around these 5 principles. Any ruling that you want to talk about, anything, if you want to know the fine line between halal and haram, what is permissible and what is lawful, it revolves around this. You cannot be a da'iyah if you don't have that in mind. You can really misrepresent Islam. You can really mess up. You can really sell the whole ummah if you don't guard those boundaries set by Allah, those limitations set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We said wajib. Under wajib is sunnah, On the other extreme, we have haram. Under haram there is makruh, disliked, and then we have mubah, permissible. Now, if we don't eat, we die, right? You may starve to death. So what is the ruling of food based on those? We want to talk to people about food because Muslims, half of our da'wah, 75% is between zabiha and halal. Is it halal? Is it zabiha? Is it 75% of our da'wah is on food? Not food. We don't discuss vegetable. We don't discuss fish, tilapia. No, we don't discuss seafood. Meat, just meat. Muslims spend more time on discussing is it zabiha or halal. Is it? I'm telling you, lie. We know what to eat and what we should not eat. Some Muslims are just neglectful. They're just negligent of the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to slaughter and the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to be mentioned. We should not eat the strangled, right? We know what we should not eat. But anyway, we know that we can eat the meat slaughtered by Jewish or Christians. We know that. It's allowed in Islam. There are some discussions around it, whether Jewish and Christians do exist or not. But food in general, halal in front of you. What is the ruling of food? Is it wajib? Because if you don't eat, you die. This is just a very common example. Food, what is the ruling of food? I want you to fix food in one of the 5 rulings. Is it wajib? Is it sunnah? Is it haram? Is it makruh? Is it mubah? Bismillah. Food, eating, just eating.
Wajib.
Wajib, right? Think again.
Does it depend on the food?
No, food in general. We don't eat with, starving to death. We don't want to kill ourselves, so we want to eat to live. So what is the ruling of food in Islam?
No, I'm just guessing. Sunnah?
Wajib, right? Is it sunnah?
It has to be wajib because you have to survive to eat. If you don't eat, then you'll commit suicide, basically.
Okay.
So
now we send you to Oxford University. Harvard. Group of Dawah sends you to Harvard and we send another one to Yale to present us. And you say we want to talk about food. That is part of our da'wah, part of our mission. As soon as you say that the ruling of food is wajib, you have already failed. I want to agree with you and disagree with you. And then it will lead to one answer if we give example. On the surface, right? On the surface, it appears to be wajib. Because as the example that I gave, you don't eat and you starve to death, what happens? You have committed a suicide. If food is here and you don't want to eat, and you don't want to eat until you die, what happens? You have killed yourself. So then this may make food to be wajib. But let us come to the rulings. What is the definition of wajib or fard? Compulsory, a must. Like salah, for example. If you perform salah, what happens in terms of reward and punishment? If you perform your salah on time, brothers, talk to me.
if you fulfill your salah, then you have met
You pay your zakah, you perform your hajj, Allah is going to reward you. If you don't perform your salah,
you can be punished.
you will be punished under normal circumstances, right? If there is no valid excuse. And therefore, fard or wajib, under this, represents you must do it. Failure to do it, you will be punished. It's a must. Sunnah, under these rulings, even though Sunnah has different definitions, we will come to that at advanced stage. Sunnah is expected to be, of course, you cannot separate it from fard, but it is lesser. For example, if you perform 4 raka'at, 4 units of dhuhr, and then you walk out without performing 2 raka'atain, 2 units after asr, what happens? If you don't perform 4 raka'at, 4 units of dhuhr, or 2 raka'atain, 2 raka'ah of
Sunnah.
of fajr, or 4 of asr, or 3 of maghrib or isha, we agree that failing to do this will be punished. It is punishable, right? But what about 2 raka'ah after dhuhr?
Then your prayer is not accepted.
You don't get the mother.
You don't perform for one reason or another, you walked out. It is highly recommended that you perform sunnah before and after, but you don't for one reason or another. Are you going to be punished?
No.
So you see the position of the word sunnah. Even though it is highly recommended, and it is connected to fard, obligatory salah, but it doesn't, it's not punishable for not doing it. Only that you have missed a reward. So you see the position of sunnah? So whenever you base your rulings and your judgments and you give a verdict or what, you need to be very careful. Because I have seen people who kick people out of Islam. I don't know who gave them that. Some people have big key like this. They can open for you and they can say, enter into Islam. Also, they can lock the door and kick you out and say, from today you are not a Muslim because you didn't perform 2 rakah after Dhuhr. You are not a Muslim. You're a kafir. You're a kafir. You disobeyed Prophet Muhammad. You didn't follow him. So if you don't cover your aura, if you don't cover your, what is considered to be your private part, if you don't cover it, either in the masjid or outside, is it punishable or rewardable? Punishable. Aura of a female, what is considered to be private part, is the whole of her body except her face and her fingers, right? We know that. And then of a man, from under his what? Knees to over his right. If you don't cover that, what happens? If you don't cover that intentionally, what happens? Either in salah or outside, what happens? It's punishable. But if you don't wear kufi, what happens? I have seen people who says that anyone who doesn't have kufi in the masjid is a fasiq. Fasiq and munafiq. And he spend all his, he want to cough, he want to push himself, he want to stretch himself, he want to make everybody, you see, astaghfirullah, people don't follow Prophet Muhammad in this mosque. This is the same person, he just have his kufi in his pocket when he walks in the masjid. But when he leaves, why should you only follow Prophet Muhammad inside the masjid? Not one book of fiqh, of jurisprudence reveals that not having kufi is one of the invalidators of salah. It is recommended. So even within your da'wah, brothers, I grade this under techniques of da'wah. You need to know where to place the rulings before you open your mouth, because sometimes you invite people and you are excited and you are this and you are emotional, and this is how you get it wrong if you don't know how to classify. So now we are coming back to food. So if I go home, like today I said I'm not going to eat after Dhuhr. Maybe I'm going to eat one meal and sleep. Compare it with Salah. Can I postpone my Salah? Can I delay my Salah? But how comes that if eating is wajib, I can delay it? If eating is wajib. Salah cannot be delayed. Zakah cannot be delayed. Fasting cannot be delayed. Hajj cannot be delayed. If you can afford, go and perform your Hajj. Farad, right? But what about food? I go home and I say I don't want to eat rice. I just want to have a cup of tea and sleep. Am I going to be rewarded or no? No. If I don't eat, am I going to be punished? So you see, when you reason, you will find that food is not wajib. It only becomes wajib if it leads to death or harm. This is a necessity now. But under normal circumstances, I have every right to say I'm on diet. I don't want to eat the whole day. I'm going to eat one meal. But you cannot choose when to perform salah and how many rakah. But you can choose, I just want to take a bite, I don't feel like, but you cannot do that with salah. So food is not, there is sunnah part of food, there is fard part of food, but food in general is mubah, is permissible. You see how it goes? So you need to know these ahkam of Islam, brothers and sisters. You need to know these 5 rulings of Islam. it will really help you and smoothen and facilitate for your da'wah when approaching people, Muslims and non-Muslims, even when approaching yourself, because then you know your position. You cannot be a da'iyah, an inviter, a caller, a reminder, a teacher, an informer, if you don't understand your position in terms of these 5 rulings. Wajib, sunnah, haram, makruh, and mubah. Very crucial, right? Very, very crucial. Now, this is where many Muslims miss the point. Yeah. When it comes to these 5 rulings, this is where many Muslims deviate. Because somebody talks out of his life. You cannot have a trouser on you. It is Yahudi thing. Okay? So what is the ruling of putting on clothing of non-Muslims according to Sharia? I'm talking of clothing made by non-Muslims, which don't contradict Islam. Is it haram? What is the ruling of using their utensils? Who make glass? Glasses that we buy from Walmart. Is it haram to use that? Huh? Sweater, it's cold, brothers. It's cold, so you mean I should not buy a jacket from Walmart? Because it was made by Mr. Peter or John or Luke. You need to know your position. This is very, very, it is a big mistake. People who came forward and they had that passion, right? They had that da'wah in heart. When they failed to understand and to see things in the light of these 5 rulings, they really misrepresented Islam. And if you don't understand this, never ever will you set up priorities in your da'wah. Never ever will you know how to talk to somebody. Somebody comes to the masjid. What is the priority? A visitor. What is the priority? Somebody comes to the masjid. In the light of those 5 rulings, what is the priority? He comes to the masjid, you don't even know him. So here is a Muslim, there are some aggressive Muslims in the masjid. Brother, are you a Muslim? Okay? Yes. No, I'm just asking, are you a Muslim? Yes, I'm a Muslim. No, you just be sure. So you're not sure. You're not sure. He's even mocking at you. So you're not sure. Okay, so you have to be sure. You have to be sure. I want to talk to you about Islam. And then he start intimidating you, harassing you. You don't even know a person. Okay, I took Shahada. Give him a chance. I know Professor met one a few days ago. And he want to give you the whole of Islam in few minutes. And he want to tell you this is wrong and that is right. And I don't know if Professor was asked, so are you sure, are you convinced that Islam is the true religion? Because if you leave Islam, will kill you. You didn't go through
No,
that.
I missed the death threat.
It was kind those are few individuals who misrepresent Islam, so you know.
That would have only been in the 2nd class.
Yes, yeah. I could see your eyes was a little bit red, and I understood who you were talking to. But that is how it is. That is how it is. So a priority, even in terms of approach, understanding somebody's, is he new in Islam, new in the community, is he a traveler? Brothers, priorities matter, but you need to base your da'wah on the 5 principles of Islam. You want to invite somebody to makruh, disliked, or you want to invite him to fard that he has to fulfill. That is why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when sent Mu'adh ibn Jabal to Yemen, what did he tell him? He gave him 3 orders. First, he told him that you're going to meet with, you are going to Ahlul Kitab, people of the book stronghold in Yemen. The first thing that you should invite them to is Shahadatu an la ilaha illallah wa Shahadatu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Then Prophet Muhammad told him, فَإِنْهُمْ أَطَاعُوكَ لِذَلِكَ. If they obey you in that, 3 things just until there. 1, Prophet Muhammad targeted a group. He identified a specific group. He let him know in advance that you are going to meet Ahlul Kitab. Secondly, he gave him the order, invite them to this, so you need to set a priority. And number 3, Prophet Muhammad told them, invite them gradually. If they obey this, and then inform them about 5 prayers, which Allah has prescribed night and day. If they obey you in this, invite them to zakah. Tell them that Allah has prescribed zakah on them. This should be taken from their wealthy and be transferred to their poor and needy. And you can see, this is how Prophet Muhammad set up priorities. This is how he advised Sahaba to be gradual. And he let them know that I'm going to meet with Ahlul Kitab. So even the arguments, right, need to be directed to Ahlul Kitab. Are we done or we're coming back?
Time-wise?
Yeah. Can we come back because it's
It's up to you.
well, like 30 minutes, I want to go straight to Zakula. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulil Kareem. But where did we start? So we gave example of Yemen, right? When Prophet Muhammad sent Mu'adh bin Jabal.
The 3 priorities.
And priorities. And also we realize that da'wah is gradual, right? Instead of just teaching, you need to plan to nurture someone to understand. You need to raise someone to understand. Sometimes we kill ourselves by saying, I've been talking and talking to this person, and then you misquote, you misinterpret the ayah in Quran. Someone, Pokemon, Fahum Layat, dumb, deaf, blind, you'll never return back to Allah. I think Allah has sealed his heart. This is not your job. This is not your job. It's not yours. You just convey their message. Maybe a person is in a stage of being taught. No. This person doesn't even need to be taught. He want to be introduced. You want to be introduced first. She doesn't know what is happening. And then followed by being taught. And then followed by being raised and nurtured to understand the sweetness of following. So there are stages. You introduce Islam to somebody, and then you teach him, right? And then you give him more information. You don't expect him to come to the masjid first day. You don't expect somebody to listen, to hear few information about Islam and that she or he has understood everything. And only after that this person is, no. It takes time to introduce this person to a different environment. Right? He or she was not used to this. She or he used to go to the church. Even the method of worship was different. All of a sudden this person is in this new world. No chairs in the mosque. See? You expect him to be like this? No. And therefore you introduce, and then you teach, you continue informing, educating, and then you go to another level of nurturing somebody, raising somebody to understand the sweetness. Maybe we need to, sorry for occupying your place. Right, sisters? So it goes like that. It goes like that until once somebody understands the sweetness, the importance, the value of something, she or he will definitely, be eager. She will definitely pursue it herself or himself. But you see, we start from the 3rd or 5th stage. Teaching, mastering, you have to do this today. This is very difficult. The heart is not raised. The heart was not created to be bombarded and to be taught once without being reminded. Okay, so a group of people came to the Prophet ﷺ. A delegation from a tribe came to Prophet Muhammad, led by their leader. It was a complete delegation. So their head, their leader, addressed Prophet Muhammad that I am a leader, and and these are my important men in my leadership, in my administration. As you know that we are this and that clan, inshallah next gathering, I will give you a full picture of what I'm the leader, I'm the chief of my tribe, so-and-so is my deputy or vice, you know. So-and-so is a wrestling. 10 people, not 1, not 9. 10 will never ever throw him down. The other one is a poet, one of the best poets, and he has the best poetry. And the other one is the best speaker in the whole of Arab Peninsula. We are here to challenge you, O Muhammad. So if you are a true prophet, bring your men. Because you are meant, your mission is meant as a mercy to the whole world. So you have to be ready, you have to be equipped. You have to be prepared to face the world. This is my test for you. Apart from what you're going to tell me that you're a messenger of Allah, I'm going to listen to that. Talk to me. But you have to challenge my men. We are talking of techniques of da'wah. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them, bring your men. So he brought the pot, and he started, reciting all these poetries. As soon as he was done, Prophet Muhammad told one Sahabi, one companion, challenge him. Oh, by the time he finished, the chief, right, of the tribe said that I could never imagine that these words, this poetry, came from one of your companions' mouth. We have been beaten. I have to admit that he was more stronger than. Okay, Khatib, a speaker. He started giving speech, praising Arabs, Arabia Peninsula, clans, sub-clans, days, generosity, kindness. No.
Anyone has 2 tens?
Starula, we don't have 2 tens, we have hundreds.
Hundreds? I'll take 100. 2 tens?
No.
They say we don't carry small. I have 5.
No?
And we have probably 5 and 5.
I have 2 5s.
Give others.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
No?
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry for that. So, the speaker gave a strong speech, praising and describing and their tribe and this and how generous they are, how kind they are. Prophet Muhammad told one of his speakers, the poet was Hassan ibn Thabit, and this one is the speaker. And you can't imagine how eloquent he was and how, Now he's describing Islam, how they were in darkness, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought them out of darkness to light. How Prophet Muhammad is a mercy, By the time he finished with his speech, the tribal chief said, I thought that it was all about us in our village. I can't imagine that you are having such eloquent people who can convey the message. I mean, I never imagined that you have people like him amongst your companions. Now, Muhammad, what about wrestling? We have this man, 10 people never beat this man. I'm talking of 10 together. Prophet Muhammad said, I'm going to take him myself. Bring him. And I know I have a problem with my coach here. He's been telling me, Shafi, you have to train and you have to train and inshallah, so we'll do that. Prophet Muhammad said that I'm going to take him on. Bring him. And subhanAllah, within few minutes he was down. He tried his tricks. And remember they said, if you win, O Prophet Muhammad, we're going to be Muslims. For the first time, this man said, maybe I wasn't prepared. Second time, third time. This story is recorded in the book of Ibn Kathir. Sirah of Ibn Kathir, it's there. 3 times this man, Prophet Muhammad, put him down. Put him down. I don't want to say humiliated him. But he didn't expect that. For the third time, they all said, Prophet Muhammad, talk to us. As soon as he talked to them, he summarized his da'wah. Right? He just explained to them, Islam is testifying that there is none to be worshipped but Allah. They said, you are a prophet of Allah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad. These became a means and a source of them becoming Muslims. When we talk of techniques of da'wah, remember I said, from here, sometimes it takes reflection, sometimes it takes, observing, sometimes it takes, it's verbal, sometimes it's physical. These are some areas that I mentioned. Can you imagine? Through wrestling, people reverted to Islam. Through poetry, people reverted to Islam. Through speech, people reverted to Islam. How is that? And therefore, techniques of da'wah, techniques of presenting Islam, of inviting people, there are different ways. This serves as an example that we need to expand. It is not all about sitting in the masjid and talking to people and sitting. And I heard some people saying that no. There is no any other way apart from sitting in the masjid and inviting people to Islam or reminding people. Misconception. If this happened in the time of Prophet Muhammad, then Muslims themselves have misunderstood Prophet Muhammad. Muslims themselves haven't understood the full life of Prophet Muhammad and how he presented this beautiful, complete religion to the world. Right, brothers? Now, that is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Also, another technique of da'wah is appointing or selecting someone from a tribe, from a clan, from ethnicity, and working through him to his people. How is that? This is a mistake that many people made, I think. Especially people who came from outside. I want to say it clearly that they never invested much in appointing an American for Americans. You cannot come to people's country and then claim or pretend that you know them better than they know themselves. What do you know? I may speak English, but I don't understand English. I may even imitate American English. I think it will. I've been trying, but it's difficult. Trying, trying with this. Sometimes I take hours to describe water. This is water. Then I say water. Then water. I try. try. Still, maybe my son, but not me. I try. Even if I go back to school, I'm not gonna get maybe 20%, but I'm trying. I'm there. I'm in between there. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam identified certain people. He selected certain people whenever he wanted to communicate to his own Quraysh immigrants. He selected somebody through whom he communicated. When Prophet Muhammad wanted to talk to the host who received Muslims in Medina, Ansar, he had someone who was trusted by Ansar, by the host, and he communicated through him. When Prophet Muhammad approached Jews, what did he do? He had Abdullah bin Salam, who was their former rabbi, was their former scholar. He communicated to them. That is why you find men and women around Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam representing different ethnicities. You want to talk to Mayor, for example, and I go with my accent. Mr. Mayor, I have come to you to tell you that. He says, okay, so how can I help you? He's gonna listen. They respect. But if a local brother who knows who is mayor, who knows how to address them, who knows the protocol, who knows the nature of our, if he goes, it becomes very easy. Maybe you would have started by saying buddy, fox, who knows? And therefore, it's just wise to use a local brother for that community. It is so now Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Use women for women, use men for men, use sometimes even kids for kids. Why not? Use a teenager, youth for youths. Use an elderly person for elders. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used that. Very crucial, very important. Positions like public relations. What do I know about Al-Bakuk? Give it to somebody who knows the street, who knows the offices, who knows, who has been operating, who has been working, who is born in that area. When you mention that church, he knows where. Areas like Dawah, why not? Give to a local brother who knows the corners of it. He knows how youths, 15 years old, maybe to 18, reasons in that area. Give it to a person. You want to talk, you want to approach students on campus? Use youth, students who went through the system, who knows hardships and difficulties, because it's not easy. High school is high school. You graduate from high school with 3 certificates. Because this is where you really discover many things. With smartphone, everything that mama and baba does through cell phone and all that. So it's not a job. Kids knows everything. They know everything through smartphone. No, astaghfirullah. But she has seen. So that is another thing. Identifying someone from who knows people, who knows their culture, who knows their customs, who knows. This is very, very, it is a weapon. But of course he should not say, because this is my home. No, he has to make effort to acquire more knowledge based on these principles of da'wah that we are discussing. At least be acquainted. Don't just blindly say, this is home and I know what to do. No, it doesn't go like that. We learn from the cradle until into the grave. Few points now. One, we spoke about wisdom, right, in da'wah, and I have 23 points. I want us to write this down. Number 1. Sister, we are discussing how to present Islam to non-Muslims. Either to inform them about Islam because we want to wash our hands. Oh Allah, our Creator, we convey, or with the intention of course, inviting them to accept Islam. Right? We convey the message, we tell them that it's a good religion, it's a true religion, it is the religion of Allah which existed before. If you follow it, you're going to succeed in this world and tomorrow hereafter. If you don't follow it, it may lead to, or if you don't follow it, now that we have conveyed, it's going to cause problem between you and Allah. You will not succeed. Even though you want material gains may convince you in one way or another that you have succeeded, but we have this life and tomorrow hereafter. And therefore this religion doesn't only serve our life in this world, but also tomorrow hereafter. And then we leave it upon a person. We invite them, Islam is a true religion, come in, they refuse. We don't force people to become Muslims. We don't impose Islam on them, right? This is what we are discussing. This is our 3rd session and you are welcome to come every week. Okay, so the following are the guidelines on how to do da'wah with the hikmah and beautiful preaching. Wisdom and beautiful preaching. How do we present Islam? Da'wah generally is presented by teaching, as we said, by informing, right? By guiding, by wisdom. How should we? So number 1, pray and aspire for eloquent speech and wisdom. Make dua. Pray and aspire for eloquent speech and wisdom. Remember when Musa alayhi salam was sent to Pharaoh, he recited, he made dua, he supplicated to Allah. قَالَ رَبِّ اشْرَحْ لِي صَدْرِي. He supplicated to Allah before he started his mission. So don't just say that I'm capable of doing that. Nowadays it's easy to cut and paste. But even before you do that, make dua. Because it's allowed. If you cut for a copy of Quran, ayah of Quran, and why not? That is a form of da'wah. And it's strong that some people are misusing social media. They don't really, they use it in a very... A Muslim is still posting all those nude pictures and what. Take advantage of that. One verse, one ayah from Quran, one hadith, Islamic teaching. Do that. Encourage people, inshallah. Right? But even with that, make dua. Supplicate to Allah. So we are discussing the guidance on how to do da'wah with hikmah and beautiful preaching, right? What is wisdom needed? We know that we cannot force people. We know that the whole world is not going to be Muslims. We know that. We still need to respect them, right? Regardless of whether they accept or not. So pray and aspire for eloquent speech and wisdom. Musa alayhi salam say, Rabbi shrah li sadri, oh Allah, expand for me my breast, my chest. It's not easy. You are dealing with a human being. I'm depressed, I'm annoyed, I'm this. No, he asked Allah to expand his breast. It's not easy. وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي, and make my task easy. He's about to face Pharaoh, and Pharaoh at that time, Pharaoh, who had army, who had wealth. His kingdom was well established. So-called one of the superpowers of those days. Of course, no superpower except Allah, God the Creator. But then he said, وَحْلُلُ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي يَفْقَهُ قَوْلِي. Allah, untie the knot in my tongue so that my people understands what I'm saying. It is very important to ask Allah to make people understand what you are saying. Right? Very important. So that is the first point. Pray and aspire for eloquent speech and wisdom. People differ. Hey, yes, we can, yes, we can, yes, we can. Now, Mr. Obama, our president is not, when he talks, is not, you cannot compare our previous president, Bush, with him, right? These are two different, that is Texan and this is, but anyway, you can see that there is different, as a president. What about prophets who are meant to guide the world, to guide society, to change? Point number 2 is speak with confidence. When you stand in front of people to present, don't say, Some people start with, you know what I'm saying. 4 times before they say a word. This is part of American culture of hiding. Okay, I wanted to talk to you. Okay, so you know what I'm saying. He promotes, you know what I'm saying, 7 times before he. So how am I going to know what you want to say even before you say it? You know what I'm saying, okay? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you know what I'm saying. Somebody want to make a point. You know what I'm saying 10 times before he makes a point. How am I going to know? Who am I to know what to say? Big prophets were very, very confident. They are very, 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 because you have the truth. And this truth is not from you, it's from Allah. Be confident. Relax. Oh, okay, I wanted to talk to you. This is not yours. Allah has revealed it. It has been preached. Billions of people have been following this religion. Today alone we are having 1.7 to 1.8, not 1.3 or 6. Islam being the fastest growing religion. This is religion of Allah. None of us takes the credit of saying it's mine. It's yours because you are a follower of the religion, of all prophets. And therefore be confident when conveying the message of Allah. Confidence does not mean rude. Now, we say, seek, aspire for eloquent speech and wisdom, and then number 2, speak with confidence, right? Because you are conveying the truth from Allah. Number 3, be friendly and show kindness in your approach. Be friendly and show kindness in your approach. You start insulting people, you disbelievers, you kuffar, you this. Wallah, you are going to Jahannam by Allah. Allah is going. I can't even touch you, you are najis, you are impure. And and then you want to invite them? How do you insult somebody? How you are so mean and rude to somebody whom you expect is going to know the truth? Where is the truth? You have failed from the beginning. Don't be harsh. Don't be rude. No, don't use gutter language. No. Be friendly and show kindness in your approach. That is how prophets were. All prophets, they were friendly. Until when they had to defend themselves. Even within self-defense, they were kind. Look at how they treated their arch enemies who went to war, who said that I'm going to kill him. They forgave them. They told them, you are free. Idhabu fantum tulaqa. I've forgiven you. I'm not going to revenge people who harmed them, who persecuted them. You need to be friendly and you have to show kindness in your approach. Number 4, it's always best to invite people to Islam with kind words instead of evil words or bad language, as I say. This is interconnected, but be friendly and show kindness in your approach is interconnected to inviting people to Islam with kind words instead of evil words or bad language. You don't insult me and invite me at the same time. You don't do that. That is not Islam. And sometimes I see on the net how people are insulting one another. Let them insult us. They start insulting Prophet Muhammad and Aisha and this and that. And I see some Muslims using all this fall and whatever language. Use that and letter F and letter B and letter D and use this, and we Muslims are mentioning all secret organs of the body, insulting this, for you this and take your part from the dead. That is not our da'wah. Who tells you that you should defend Islam with insults and present the case? Ours is to وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينَ. Ours is to convey that. Quran has addressed every situation. All arguments are not new. All these arguments were never new. It just needs a different way based on the location, based on the place. But all arguments were there. There were people who denied Allah completely. How did Quran deal with them? Present the case. There are people who denied prophets. How did Quran? There are enemies who came forward and said, we're going to do this. They never destroyed the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore it's always best to invite people to Islam with kind words instead of evil words and foul or bad language. Number 5, say the fundamental or best teachings in Islam and refrain from nonsense talking. Sometimes you talk nonsense instead of presenting the fundamental principles of Islam. People don't even understand Shahada. No? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. What are the conditions of Shahada? Talk to them about it. Talk to them about benefit of prayers. What is that? What do you gain from prayers? How does it connect you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Talk to them about the benefit of prayers. And talk to them about how zakah is meant to eradicate poverty on earth. Right? The individual benefits of zakah. Family benefits of salah. Society or societal benefits of zakah. Talk to them about this. Sharing, kindness. Talk to them. Fasting, Hajj. Go to pillars of Imam. And there's many other things that the world wants to know. The effect of zina. All this. Talk to them. House of Islam is big. House of Islam is big. So, say the fundamental or best teachings in Islam and refrain from nonsense talking. That is not a Muslim. Sometimes you go away and you see people reasoning, and there is only 20% reasoning in that reasoning. The rest are not. Don't be deviated, don't be diverted by people's word, Islam is that. They are repeating the same arguments over and over. Number 6, speak good words and do not insult. Now, not just when inviting, but when talking generally. These people want to watch how you talk, not necessarily when even presenting Islam. And we're in America, I know we're in America, and Hollywood is in America, I know, but letter F's is not ours. Big letter D's and big letter F. You know, these are not ours, please. We have our expressions, inshallah. I failed, but qaddar Allah. Not I failed, but what is that? These big words of A and some N, whatever, and days, and you remain a Muslim. You remain a Muslim. Environment, situation, movie, and what should not steal your Islam from you. You don't want to imitate one actor and once, you know, these celebrities and how they insult and what. No. We take good from everybody, but you remain to be a Muslim. You need to know where to say what and how and where. I'm going to travel tomorrow. My boss told me to travel. I didn't want to go. No. You say, inshallah, I'm going to travel. I didn't want to go, but qaddar Allah. Allah decrees, wa ma sha'a fa'ala. And whatever He decrees, whatever He wants happen. We have our inshallah, alhamdulillah, bismillah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, masha'Allah. These are our words. As Allah willed. If Allah wills, praise be to Allah. In the name of Allah, these are our expressions and not letter F's and what. Watch your mouth. Especially when you are living with people. They are watching you. They want to see difference. I'm an American, after all, yes. But America doesn't force you to say those words. No. Let us not blame everything on America. No. You can choose your life in America. And Allah has blessed you with life of Islam in America. You can't choose whatever you want to follow here, whatever you want to say. Number 7 is avoid vain discussions, argumentations, and debate. Avoid vain discussions, because a debate or argument should bear fruits, right? If you know for sure that it leads to, avoid it. It leads to rotten fruits. No. It may lead to animosity and insults and hate and what. You rather avoid it. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that in case, if we engage ourselves in debates and what, it has to be, we have to debate with people with the best manner. Quran chapter 16 from verse 125. Number 8, control anger. Don't play with it. Some Muslims start, sister, Islam is a good religion for you, or brother. Your church is this, and so you can see him going up. You worship Mary, and you worship this, and you worship, and Trinity is not right. Takbir. I mean, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Calm down. She or he was raised worshiping whatever he or she worshipped. He didn't know. He believed in that. You have this ex, at least she has a beginning, at least she knows God, but maybe you live on how to know Allah, how to know Tawheed. And therefore you need to be a doctor. You need to rescue this person. Somebody is drowning and you're sinking. And you see you're drowning now. Deal with the situation. Help this person, hold his hand. And you find him heavy like my brother here, you see. It's not easy to pull him out of the river, this brother. You can easily deal with my brother here. This brother is not easy. Right, brothers? Yes. Control your anger and refrain from having disputes or quarrel. No. A companion came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of his disciples, his students, right? And told him, advise me on the Messenger of Allah. If somebody asks for your advice today, let me go back to the books. I have volumes of. Prophet Muhammad was a teacher. He was also a counselor. He was also a doctor. He had all these qualities. He identified a problem in this person, and that was anger. Prophet Muhammad told him, have you requested for an advice? Yes. He told him, La taghdab, don't be angry. Don't be angry. Control your anger. He said, then what, Prophet Muhammad? Prophet Muhammad repeated 3 times, don't be angry, don't be angry. And that was the end of that day's advice. Sometimes you speak 1,000 words, and as I said, there are only 2. Only 2 words make sense in the whole. So don't waste your words. Don't waste your breath. You rather speak one and it's meaningful, constructive and helpful than speaking thousands, and don't do that. Control your anger and refrain from having what? Dispute or quarrel. Number 9, present Islam objectively by giving proofs from the Quran and Sunnah. You cannot start with this makes sense to me and that quote from Quran and teachings of Prophet Muhammad. Sunnah. The previous nations were destroyed, or they were misled, or they deviated when they started presenting their ideas before or without referring to the teachings of Allah, Al-Quran and Sunnah. Go back to the sources. Remember, we agreed on 4 main sources, and we also discussed 2 additional. You remember last week? We said what are the sources of our teaching, the source where we derive, where we take our teaching from. We said from Quran, the book of Allah, and then the wisdom that explains the Quran, which is known as Sunnah or Prophet Muhammad. And then we said ijma, understanding of companions, what the companions and students of Prophet Muhammad agreed on. And then qiyas was analogy by comparison. And then we also say that some scholars also add what is called istihsan, which means if there are 2 good opinions, how do you come up with the best out of both good, right? And then there is urf. They also say that it is very important to know people's customs and culture and this. And that is why I said you need to know what contradicts Islam, what should be rejected, and what should be accepted. Islam never came to reject America, to empty America before it reveals life in America now. Islam came to agree with many things that happened in the society, but at the same time Islam came to fight the evil and the vices, or some things that may be perceived as good, but they are against Islam. Islam came to reject that. Right? Inviting people for a party, is it wrong? Getting together is wrong? No. Okay, families coming together, but what about wine served in this party? So Islam says that if family comes together, that is good, right? Islam is based on, Islam encourages family life. You need to be family oriented. You need to get more closer to your dad and your mom. But what about wine served and So Islam says not those wines and not. So you see how it goes. You need to know people's culture and traditions and customs before you open your mouth to criticize. And what is the position of that culture within the rulings of Islam? Right? Is it haram? Is it mandub, sunnah, optional? Is it wajib, compulsory? Is it makruh, disliked? Is it permissible? You need to know that before you issue a ruling. Explain number 10. Explain the meaning, beauty, and excellence of Islam. When you start inviting people, start from there. As much as you need to tell them at some point that this is not right, but why can't you explain the meaning, beauty, and excellence of Islam first? Its rationality, completeness, and practicality in the most logic and simple way. Don't make things difficult for people. Be simple. Always stress that indeed Islam is easy when you talk to people. Don't tell, I have somebody who told people. Somebody came without being invited that I want to be a Muslim. She might have been doing her research, or he might have been doing her research. So I want to be a Muslim. What is the obvious question? This person should be welcome. This person should. A person told, and I was there. This brother told this. person that, are you ready for Islam? Are you really ready for Islam? It's not easy. Islam is not easy. Are you ready for Islam, sister? You rather go and think about it first. It's not easy, the way you think. I'm ready. No. Islam is not easy. It's a serious and difficult religion. It takes a heart before you don't approach people like that. Alhamdulillah, this person took Shahada. Allah helped me to give him Shahada, and he's a Muslim until now, since 2003. Right? So, stress always that Islam is easy. And that is the truth. Islam is not difficult. We are sitting, it's easy. We just prayed, it's easy. Make use of parables and similitudes that may give admonition. And there are, Quran is full of parables and, admonitions. And why can't you use that? Quran is so unique. The best stories are in Quran. Best parables are in Quran. Best examples are in Quran. Best admonitions are in Quran. Straight teachings are in Quran. Quran always encourages people to reflect and ponder and think, right? Yes, you need to think. So make use of parables and similitudes that may give admonition. Number 12, choose the proper time. Choose the proper time, in bracket moment, day for da'wah. And avoid making people from becoming bored. Don't bug people. In America, if you want to visit people, please call them. If you're part of Jama'ah, call them. Don't go to people's home. We visited some brothers, their business, and they were so busy. And this is when we went and told them, we want your 5 minutes. This person is making money. And customers are here. And you tell, do you know? Next time, the other time when these brothers went back, the Muslim brother told them that if you step in my shop again, I'm going to call the cops on you. And he had that right. Don't do things like that. Time and place and even day matters a lot. Prepare a platform of talking to people. You don't just meet people everywhere. And it varies from a place to another place. That is part of our brothers, right? Also with government, you don't stand everywhere and they start making noise. They may not allow you to do that. They may call doctors on you, ambulance and police, and lock you up and say, is something wrong with him? But this government, this police, in Makkah, Prophet Muhammad, sometimes we contradict. We are so irrelevant. We are so irrelevant in terms of examples that we are giving. Examples we are giving, Makkah, Prophet was like, what is our situation in America? Yes, Prophet Muhammad did that, but what were the circumstances? Time, day, and place, and even preparing somebody. Preparing somebody. You need to prepare somebody to listen to Prophet Muhammad. Prepare them. Another technique of dawah, make food and invite a friend to eat food. How is that? Prophet Muhammad prepared food for 3 days and invited his tribes and relatives. Day 1 they ate, but then Abu Lahab, his uncle, interrupted. Second day, as we say, he invited them again, he slaughtered a lamb. Zabiha halal, right? He slaughtered. Second day, Abu Lahab came and interrupted. Third day, he prepared food, only that he did not invite Abu Lahab, and he addressed his people. Different ways. If you have a friend, not necessarily in the masjid, invite him somewhere. Invite him home. Talk to him. Give him a cup of tea, right? Invite him. Let us meet at the soccer field or something. Prepare somebody. So time matters a lot. Time and place and the day of that. And then number 13, deliver the lecture briefly but precisely with eloquence in order to arouse the listener's interest. And to attract somebody's. Sometimes it's not, if it is meant for 4 hours, talk for 1 hour. If it is meant for talk for, you can have just few words. Subhanallah, and it is like a stamp, rubber stamp in the heart of somebody. Few words. 15 minutes. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes. And you may talk for 10 hours until somebody. Yeah. Because in the beginning people listen. And then it goes again. Psychologist tells us that in the beginning, people can only concentrate in the first 15 minutes. And then slowly, it depends. This is when people are divided. Your audience, even in a class. So if you're a teacher, you have to apply different techniques and ways of keeping them going. But just by listening, in the beginning, everybody want to hear them. There are those who want to evaluate you, how you stand, your body language. You know, within 5 minutes, they say that, oh, I can still listen to him. All others are going to say, I know the topic. Others are going to say that I've read many books about this. You know, so it depends. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. Talk with feelings and emotions. People want to see how talk with... Now, emotions and feelings doesn't mean being violent. No? No. And being harsh. I told you, if you... I need some water. I'm burning. No. Emotions, let them feel that it's from the heart to heart. Let them feel that you mean what you are. Because dawah is not all about just saying and you have conveyed. No. They want to see it from you. The message that how much do you believe in it? How much has it left an impact in your life? How much did it affect and change your life? They want to see that. Tell them that this is what I believe in. Number 15, explain things very clearly. If possible, repeat important points, if necessary, and speak in a loud and clear voice. Some people do talk to themselves when they are giving presentations. Some people are reading newspapers. You understand, eh? So you understand. So you're talking to nobody. Talking to nobody. You're talking to nobody. Explain things very clear. Prophet Muhammad could repeat himself sometimes 3 times. That is sunnah. You are conveying them. You don't need to rush. Sometimes this is triggered by we want to cover many things. No. You want to cover many things in a few minutes. Sometimes you rather have 3 points and it's understood better than 1,000 points when none is understood. So repeat important points and speak in a loud and clear voice. Number 16, make appropriate gestures to facilitate better understanding. Include your body language. You may have a point, but the way you behave, the way you conduct yourself may make people to feel that you degrade them, you despise them, right? You belittle them, you look down upon them. You may have a point where you're speaking from Quran, you're talking to Muslims who don't pray, who don't fear Allah, and the way you behave, the way you start, this is not even laughing. It's not a laughing, I can't imagine how Allah is going to treat you. Are you laughing at me? Are you trying to help me? Are you trying to... Even the words, how you present so it matters a lot, body language and how you present. And that is why Islam doesn't allow, Prophet Muhammad said, there are these worst people among the creation. Al-mutafayhiqeen, al-mutashaddiqeen. Mutafayhiqeen. Who are mutafayhiq? Al-mutashaddiq is a little bit heavy vocabulary. Mutashaddiq, mutafayhiq. These are people who exaggerate in their voices. Your voices, Imam Shafi, I'm talking to you. Then I said, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. You know for sure that Imam has changed his... you see, brothers, as you know that Imam Shafi, you don't normally talk like this. What's wrong with you? I just wanted to tell you about Jannah. You see, when we go to Jannah, this is me, so somebody can see that Imam Shafi is an actor today, right? Imam Shafi has joined Hollywood. And also, not only exaggerating on how you want to talk and how you want to behave, and not only that, also your mouth. You know, brothers, and as I told you, talk normally. Seek eloquence, but don't play with them. You know, that look, if you are born like that, it's okay, but don't. So as I told you yesterday, that Salah is very important to understand, and you try to attract people with twisting your mouth and the word. Nobody's going to listen to you. They're not going to value what you are saying. They're going to think that we are watching Tom and Jerry. This is the word of Allah. It has to be conveyed with respect and discipline, right? Be yourself, be natural, be organic, right? And convey and seek eloquence. There is no problem if you try to pronounce a word as it should be pronounced. There is no problem. But don't exaggerate in talking and how you want to behave. It's not right. In fact, showing off is part of ascribing partners to Allah. Everything you do or you say should be done for this. Few more points. Number 17, use illustrations, visual aids, to arouse audience interest and facilitate easy comprehension, if you can. Inshallah, next time we have a PowerPoint. I wanted to conclude our program with PowerPoint. To summarize, I have it on this. So, to attract, it's good to illustrate. It's good to also demonstrate. If you teach Salah, illustrating also means demonstrate. Teach somebody how to perform Salah. It has a big effect when I go to the churches. And I'm inviting you tomorrow. We have a dawah in the church. Tomorrow I have a presentation from 9 to 10. I think the posters are somewhere. No, you can give an address now. Come and see. Come and join us. Come and let them see that we are. If you can. If you are busy, I'm not going to blame you. But I have a presentation for 1 hour, maybe 40 minutes, and then question and answer. It's good to do that in the church. They invited us. Okay, so number 18. If possible, write and produce copies of your speech or lecture for distribution to the audience after your talk. And if you can't do that, at least make sure that you list down those points, because they may help you in future as you grow and advance. You may compile it and it may help other people. Also, it may remind you, because some people are very good in talking. Ask him or her, ask these speakers after 5 minutes, what did you say? I don't know. No, I mean to ask for what you say. So that is wrong, right? Make it a habit to at least some bullets. Write some points of what you said. If it's beneficial, 5 more points. Number 19, ask if they understood properly. Ask people if they understood properly the Islamic lecture that was conveyed to them. It's not bad to interact after. Don't just talk, don't dictate. What is the main objective? To educate, to convey. Did you understand? Some people don't do that because they are afraid of opposition. Because some people just come for a gathering to oppose, to criticize, and to waste time. They just want to distract them. So some people are so afraid of this. But if you are teaching and conveying, ask people, did you understand? What needs clarity or clarification? Also be ready to entertain, but not too many questions. Because being inquisitive is haram in Islam, but asking is allowed. You want to ask what you know. Some Muslims have answers in their pockets. Imam, Sheikh, I want to ask you, how many pillars of Islam are there? You say, but no, just answer me, I don't want long story. 5 or 6. You say 5. Okay, but you have this type of people who, they have this, they are called Miss and Mrs. Okay, but suppose, and then he ends up saying, I knew what I was asking, but he just wanted to, I knew it. 30 minutes of wasting time. Ask. If you want to confirm what you know, it's allowed. You know it, but you want to confirm. You want more. It's not allowed. But don't be inquisitive. Don't try people with questions, especially your audience. Use, number 20, 3 more points. Use all other possible means of communication to da'wah. All possible means. We have media, right? We have, look at. Use all this. Pamphlets, publications, phone that you have. It's shame on a Muslim. Shame on the Muslims. 24 hours passes without him or her sharing an ayah or hadith with a brother or sister. Cell phone alone, cell phone was for calling, communication those days. It was a voice, more of, it has gone beyond that. You have your phone and it can record it records not only words, but it also writes if you want to. Technology is very advanced, from Twitter to Facebook it started with communication has a story and a history. Today everything is right in front of you here. Can't you share one ayah? Can't you share a thought, one hadith every day? Can't you do that? Can't you send somebody a letter, a copy of Quran, books, CD and DVD? Time is CD and DVDs. Slowly you can see. It's going to be history soon. Because people have gone, people on YouTube, are they going to buy DVDs or they're going straight to YouTube and all this? And the world is more advanced now. And therefore make use of all these avenues. Right, brothers? From publication to whatever you can use, all the means and ways of da'wah. And then beautify your presentation of Islam with the language of the Quran. Language of Quran. Beautify your presentation with that. There is language, street language, you know that. There is street language. There is home language. There are buddies, the friends language. It depends on your company. And there is Islamic language. Language used in Quran. You need to master that language. I'm not talking of all Arabic, but there are words that if used, it beautifies your teaching. And then after the lecture or da'wah, when the lecture or da'wah is over, invite the non-Muslims to open their minds and heart to Islam with selected Quranic verses. Also, when you talk to Muslims, invite them to Islam or invite them, encourage them to do what you presented to them. Because somebody say, okay, I got it. Then what? So brother, when are you coming to the masjid? If you are talking about Salah, can we go now? Right? Zakah, I don't see you paying your zakah, helping needy and poor. I don't see you doing that. We have homeless, we have shelters, right? If we can use all these ways and means to help, and brothers, there are many means. We have how many Muslim students coming from, how many international Muslim students, and how many national Muslim students come from other states? What programs do we have for them? So it's not all about in the mosque. You need to volunteer. You don't need to do what I'm doing. I cannot do what you are doing. But we need to divide tasks. We need a representative at university. We need a representative outside there on the street. We want one of us to deal with the homeless. We want one of us to deal with students. We want one of us to deal with churches, to deal with this. Social media. We need to divide tasks because when students come, I'm going to show you a video. There is a church, there is an organization, I shared it with a few brothers. It is called New Mexico Islamic Mission or something. I will give you the full, I can't remember this one. 2.5 minutes advertisement. But they finish all that, they present all their plans for Muslims, for inviting Muslims to Jesus. It is on YouTube. They say that we are targeting foreign and international Muslim students because they have arrived at our door. And we know that they were never in contact with any church or any organization. We are here to invite them to Jesus. So it's not all about talking. How comes that they are not visible on the street? They are working very hard. They go to the university, for example, and they strike a deal with the administration that we are ready to invite, we are ready to welcome and guide and any foreign Muslim student. They are doing that. They mention. And they have a center. So what they do, they don't give money, they don't do that. But if you need, they may give money. What happens is they say that, do you know the town? Do you know the city? No, I just want to show you the city. Don't worry. I'm going to gas up my car. This is Walmart. There is no way that you will forget such a friend. Just showing you the streets. Okay, do you need some furniture? Yes, I want to buy furniture. Don't worry. We're going to give you. We have bed. We have. What else? Clothing? Yes. No, we have American jeans for you. We have American jeans for you. And you know, when we come to America, first we want to have this T-shirt. America. With the stars, right? So they provide 5 of that, not 1. What else? I want to know we can connect you to, do you play soccer or football? I have a cousin who plays soccer. So look at these people, they have already finished. You are already within the system. And slowly, slowly they talk to you about love and mercy, generosity of this. They don't tell you the other side of. And we are not enemies to any religion. Right? Islam is a true religion, but we respect all religion. That is Islam. And we have to be kind to them. Only that we have to invite them to Islam. They refuse. There are many things that we can share together. Same hospital here, UNM is one, same street. We just have Yale and Central. Same Walmart. Walmart doesn't say Muslims should be here and Christians should queue here. That is not. So we need to bear that in mind. How are we going to do that? That is why I said different ways of da'wah. If we don't do that to our own, they're going to do it for us. And don't feel secure. No, a Muslim cannot convert. Muslims are converting, maybe not in big number, but because if you get all this, no Muslim raises his voice, no Muslim opens his heart for you, no, you come to the mosque, it's not going to work. Last point is, if they ignore your invitation, if a Muslim ignore your invitation, if a non-Muslim ignore your invitation, what should you do? Then just advise them to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. Also ask them to make dua, to supplicate. Tell them, ask, do you believe in God? Just ask Allah for guidance. And tell them that you will continue praying for them. Because the only one who guides is Allah and not you. So if they refuse, tell them that I'm a Muslim. I just spoke to you as a Muslim. And this is exactly what Allah says in Quran. Can you read for me Quran chapter 3 verse 64 as my conclusion for today? Quran chapter 3, Surah to Al Imran, ayah number 64. Now, you want to see who is faster? You only have 2 big machines. Right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Quran chapter 3 verse 64. Now. Yes. Quran chapter 3 verse 64. When we invite people and they don't respond, what do? Do we blow them up? Do we bombard them? Do we tell them I'm going to kill you? That is not Islam. That is not Islam. We are not here. Now, Quran chapter 3 verse 64. Bismillah.
Verse 34. The internet is not coming up.
64. Smartphone. Don't turn America. No, don't turn America to Africa.
464, yeah?
360.
360.
Ali Imran. We really want to conclude with that verse. Now, Bismillah. 364. There we go. English. 360. You just read Quran?
Okay.
No.
You want it in English?
Yes. Read.
Say, O people of the Scripture, come to a word that is equitable between us and you, that we will not worship except Allah, and not associate anything with Him, and not take one another as lords instead of Allah. But if they turn away, then say, bear witness that we are Muslims.
Exactly. They turn away, don't tell them, you kuffar, don't talk to me again. You're going to hell. You are condemned. You are doomed to wait. My brother to be laden. I'm going to blow you up. You don't know what I have in my pocket here. You rather keep away from me because I'm so dangerous. I'm a jihadist. I'm a terrorist. No, you don't talk like that. You bring them to a negotiation. Yeah, and you bring them to negotiate. There's a negotiating table, right? You want to talk. You just want to present your case. You talk about commonalities. You tell them that this is what we should do together. This is what all prophets did. They never worshipped other than Allah. Only one God. All prophets. From Jesus. Jesus never taught Trinity. He never taught Musa alayhi salam. Moses never allowed his people to worship idols. Nor did he tell them to bow down to an idol. Mother of Jesus, right? No. So let us not worship except one God. These are common terms between us and you, Jewish and Christians. You know this. Number two, let us not associate partners with Allah. There is only one God, right? And number three, let us not consider some men as gods besides Allah. If they turn away from this, فَقُولُوا شَهَدُوا بِأَنَّا مُسْلِمُونَ. Don't pretend them. Don't be angry with them. Just tell them politely that you bear witness that we are Muslims, that is our faith, we submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you want to go beyond that, brother, then you are destroying Islam, you are misrepresenting Islam. Why? Because we do not guide the only one who guides Allah. Jazakumullahu khair for today. So tomorrow I have this church. I know it's early in the morning, but I would want you to attend. The address is with my elder here.
It's on the door there.
And Sam are there. If you can, it's for a few minutes.
Can you read the address, sir?
It's a lecture at St. Luke's Lutheran Church. Imam Shafi is speaking at St. Luke's Lutheran Church on Sunday, February 9th, 2014. The address is 9100 Manal Boulevard Northeast. That's 9100 Manal Boulevard Northeast. The lecture will start at 9 a.m. It is a good dawah opportunity. Come and show your support for Imam Shafi and the Islamic Center.
They made a mistake for Imam Shafi, just for Islam.
Islamic Shafi.
I don't belong to a tea party. I'm not with Sister Sarah. Just for Islam, right? Not for Imam Shafi. So inshallah, if we can tell other brothers to come. When they see us going in, I think it gives a different... if we stay in the masjid, we don't visit them, and this is an opportunity. Some people don't know where a church is and how church looks like. Inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.
At the interfaith, are we going to do any nasheeds?
Inshallah.
I have a bandir. I can play. I have 3 of them.
Okay.
I can play.
We will come there, inshallah. Let us agree on the mission and divide tasks, and we will see how it goes, inshallah.
What is the interfaith? Is that some event?
No,
It's just this
I think she's talking about just
Oh, tomorrow.
demonstration,
Oh.
different demonstration.
we've been promoting that, of course, with the intention of presenting Islam. So we've been doing that. We will see how we can expand it to what, and how far. Inshallah, we'll see. No.
I'd like to say,
You want to say something, this young man, you want to say something?
A few months ago, remember that green leaflet paper we passed?
Right.
Remember you presented that? That's still a good opportunity. It's simple, but it did target a certain particular group, and it's the street.
No.
And we put up over 40 flyers. There was 3 of us involved. All 40 got taken down, which we say alhamdulillah to that, because I mean, in order for it to be taken down, someone had to have obviously read it.
Right.
That's what I look at it. We're 40 up, 40 down. But I addressed to a few brothers that one of the goals, part of the dawah is that simplicity of posting messages, addressing the audience based on the level of their understanding. Within 1 mile radius of the masjid. Because there was an incident 3 years ago when we used to have, well, not a bad incident, but we used to have a meeting on Sunday, and 2 individuals walked by the masjid, and it was kind of shocking to know that they asked what was this place was, and we told them, they said, wow, really? He said, I lived in the neighborhood for over 8 years, I didn't know there was a masjid right here. I walk by it all the time. That's kind of a disappointment there. And this neighborhood should be conscious that there are Muslims here, not on Friday. But those leaflets help, regardless of what kind of results we get from it. Obviously, again, if someone's taking them down, they read it. That's the whole point.
What are the leaflets going to say?
Anything targets. If Islam honors the freedom of speech and the freedom of expression, and ideas of Muslims being involved, then we should shut down people's ideas.
Yes, but it should be in a manner that whoever's walking by, it appeals to all people.
You're not going to be able to get all that. We've done it. Like I said, you can't appeal to every individual. What you got to need to do is put it out there. It's going to captivate some and some of them they're going to it's not going to catch some of them. It's got to be done.
So when we come, I mean, we're going to get together and we're going to build a strategy, and so we'll talk about that strategy, and that'll be part of our strategy.
Because I know one thing, if we live in the United States, and it's not supposed to honor the freedom of speech, but we as Muslims are limited Muslims from doing that, we give the United States a good opportunity to show how they honor it better than we do.
But we have to have a strategy about it.
Right, I mean,
I think the idea is, as we say that we have to use other means and ways and methods of da'wah, include, when we say publication, this includes pamphlets. We need to distribute pamphlets. We need to share this. There is no doubt about it. I think what we are doing here, we have come together to restructure our strategies, to strategize and agree on a mission. Definitely, we have to reach our neighbors first before we even dream of. And I think you missed our last week's, you missed the last week's session. We emphasized on the stages of da'wah, you remember? Stages of da'wah. We say it starts from individual, okay, individual, and then we say your immediate family, your neighbors, people in your locality. We cannot jump to Santa Fe if our neighbors are not. So yes, we need to do more around here. And inshallah, pamphlets is one of the best ways and means of reaching. We will do that, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. So just an update, the first lecture is up on YouTube now. I sent an email out. So anybody who missed the first lecture or wants to reference it, it's there. Inshallah, the second lecture will be posted probably within a day or two, inshallah. So anybody who needs to reference that. And then this one, inshallah, will be posted as well.
We are going to, after next week, we have exams. Yes, we are going to have more practice. Alright. Yes. Look, if we discussed 150 points, for example, if we can only understand 25, it's okay. It's a good beginning. So inshallah, each one of us is going to present.
Inshallah.
Next week, once we close the first, how should I call it? The first phase of our dawah program, we're going to task one another that when we meet the other week, each one of us will have to present something. So I'm going to give all of us a task. This is how it goes on. This week is still easy. It's the queen cake and some juice, mango. But when it comes to the coming week, I know all of us will attend, inshallah. There will be no excuses, Each one of us will have to present something because we want to be more practical. And I think we will discuss this all together. Now that we have known that we have laid the foundation, what are the methodologies and what are the methods and ways that we can use, what are the priorities, can we pick 5, can we shortlist all our ideas to 5, how do we want to participate, even if we can start with only 5, right? And then we build on it and we build on it. Each one of us has to participate. You may not know all the verses of Quran, but you can organize for events. So that is da'wah. You can connect us to certain people. You can call. You can. Each one of us has to do something. It's not all about member and leading salah. No. What do we do after khutbah on Friday and after leading salah? Only one imam leads salah. What else do we do? So all these people around us, the best we can give them is not McDonald's and Burger King and Kentucky. Not that. The best we can give them is La ilaha illallah, if we can introduce that to them. Muhammadur Rasulullah. So Jazakumullahu khair. And we agreed last time that we need to send some letters. I think we haven't done that.
Letters?
We need to identify specific people and send them letters to attend there. But what I think, I did want to go there after our second gathering or meeting because we wanted to come up with a core group. Because I think if people comes now, let us have the 4th meeting, and then once we agree, we're going to see how other people will be. The whole community want to come. But let them see that there are at least 5 or 6 people who are moving forward. So we can bring them in. You see that? We can have a brief dawah program for 30 minutes. That we will do all that. But at the moment we needed to agree. We needed people who commit themselves. We think big. Think of our community, our neighborhood, and the whole state. Imam alone can't do it. Jazakumullahu khair. Can we make dua? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Wa na'as. Innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus salihat. Tawassaw biha wa tawassaw bis. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. آمين. اللهم ربنا زدنا علما وارزقنا فهما. ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. Oh Allah, we ask for your mercy. Oh Allah, we ask for your blessings. Oh Allah, our Creator, we ask for your sustenance and provision. Oh Allah, those who are sick, relieve them from hardships that they are going through. Those who have died already, bless them and forgive them. Those who are going through difficulties and hardship, relieve them from those hardships. Oh Allah, bless our homes, bless our families. Help us to realize that you created us for a purpose and reason, and help us to fulfill those purposes. Oh Allah, we are weak and no one grants strength except you, and we are asking you for strength. Oh Allah, we can do nothing except by your power and mighty. And therefore help us to do things through your power and might. Oh Allah, we are all misguided, and no one guides except you. And therefore guide us to Siratul Mustaqim, to the straight path. Guide our hearts to realize the truth. Guide our hearts to realize the faith. Guide our hearts to lead a good life in this world and tomorrow hereafter. Keep us away and protect us from shaitan, devil and iblis, and keep him away from us, Ya Allah. Save us from hellfire and admit us in paradise. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammadin wa alihi wasallam. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. All praise be to Allah.
Allah, Allah, Allah. He is one. Allah, Allah, Allah. Allah, Allah, Allah. He is one. He is with us all. Can't you